A woman may like many men, but she only chases the one she quietly fears losing. Not because he begs for attention, not because he tries to impress her, but because his life has weight, purpose, and discipline. The kind of energy she can't control, can't predict, and definitely can't replace. Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology gave it a name. Scarcity creates value, and value creates pursuit. When your time has standards, when your presence feels rare, when your purpose is stronger than your desire for approval, a woman feels it instantly. And that's the moment the chase begins. If you're truly ready to change your life, write in the comments, "I'm ready to change." Because once you make that decision, everything shifts. Here's the first step you must absolutely take advantage of if you want her to remember you forever and desire you for a long time. Make your presence feel rare, intentional, and unmistakably valuable. If you want a woman to chase you, you must understand a truth that destroys most men without them ever noticing it. A woman does not chase what is always available. She may appreciate it, she may enjoy it, but she does not pursue it. She only chases what feels rare, what feels selective, what feels like it cannot be easily replaced. This isn't manipulation, it's psychology. The human brain assigns value based on scarcity. When something is effortless to access, predictable, and always waiting, the mind lowers its value instantly. But when something is limited, intentional, and earned, desire rises. Women feel this instinctively. They don't need a man to announce his worth. They feel it in the way he moves, the pace at which he responds, the steadiness of his attention, and the quiet confidence of someone who does not rely on validation to feel whole. Scarcity, when done correctly, is not about ignoring her or playing childish games. It's about having standards that protect your time, your energy, and your identity. Instead of chasing, you choose. Instead of seeking approval, you remain centered. Instead of adjusting your behavior to impress her, you let your world speak for itself. A woman notices the man who doesn't rush, who doesn't explain himself endlessly, who doesn't crumble to gain her approval. She feels the difference between a man who is accessible to anyone and a man who lives with purpose. And the moment she senses that difference, her mind begins to circle back to you. She starts comparing other men to you, often without realizing it. Where others seem predictable, you seem disciplined. Where others try too hard, you appear focused. Where others give too much, you protect your attention like something that actually has value. This is the psychological twist that Machiavelli understood long before modern studies confirmed it. A valuable man's silence carries more weight than a needy man's words. When she doesn't hear from you immediately, she doesn't feel neglected. She feels curious. She starts wondering where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not trying to impress her like everyone else. Curiosity becomes fascination. Fascination becomes desire, and desire becomes pursuit. That's why the men who live with purpose, structure, and discipline never need to chase women. Their lives create a natural pull. Their presence feels rare because it is. They are not performing scarcity, they embody it. Real scarcity doesn't threaten a woman. It intrigues her. It makes her lean forward instead of stepping back. It creates the feeling that you are not just another option, but a man whose time has gravity and whose life has momentum. When you become that man, not by pretending, but by genuinely valuing yourself, she feels it instantly, and she remembers you long after the moment ends. Scarcity isn't distance. Scarcity is value, and value is what she chases. Here's the second step you must absolutely take advantage of if you want her to remember you forever and desire you for a long time. Let your presence speak louder than anything you could ever say. Most men try to win a woman with words. They talk too much, joke too much, explain too much, thinking speech equals influence. But a woman doesn't fall for words. She falls for the energy behind them. A man's real power is not in what he says. It's in how he exists. Presence is the quiet force that makes a woman notice you before she hears a single sentence. It's the way you stand, the way you breathe, the way you hold your gaze, the way you navigate a moment without rushing or seeking approval. When a man carries himself with calm intention, a woman can sense it instantly. She feels his steadiness the same way she feels the warmth of sunlight on her skin. Natural, grounding, and impossible to ignore. Think of the countless men who flood her world with effort. They fill the air with jokes, stories, compliments, hoping their words will create attraction. But attraction rarely ignites from noise. It ignites from presence, the rare masculine stillness that communicates confidence without performance. The man who speaks only when he chooses to, the man who listens more than he tries to impress, the man who doesn't feel pressured by silence, becomes unforgettable. She begins watching him, not because he is loud, but because he is centered. Machiavelli understood influence as an art of subtlety. The most powerful men were those who guided the room without ever raising their voices. Modern psychology agrees. People trust and admire those who display emotional control, deliberate movement, and measured reactions. Imagine two men walking into a room. One talks fast, laughs hard, and tries to be noticed. The other man enters quietly, shoulders relaxed, eyes thoughtful, movements deliberate. He doesn't rush. He doesn't perform. He simply exists with certainty. Which one do you think her eyes return to again and again? Not because he tried, but because he didn't. His lack of neediness creates gravity. His calm becomes its own language, one that whispers confidence the way words never could. Presence is also tied to emotional discipline. If your reactions are predictable, frantic, or tied to her approval, she feels it and pulls back. But when you remain composed under pressure, when you don't let annoyance, jealousy, or insecurity shake your tone or posture, she senses a man who can handle the weight of life. And that kind of man stays in her mind long after others fade. The twist is this: presence is not about pretending to be mysterious. It's about being fully in control of yourself. When you know who you are, you don't need to announce it. When you're focused on your path, you don't need validation. When you are deliberate with your energy, she feels the truth of your value without you saying a single word. A woman chases the man whose silence feels stronger than another man's speech. That's the power of presence, the invisible magnetism that turns curiosity into desire and desire into pursuit. Here's the third step you must absolutely take advantage of if you want her to remember you forever and desire you for a long time. Live with boundaries that protect your value, not with behaviors that try to win her approval. If you want a woman to chase you, she must feel something most men never make her feel. The quiet realization that you are a man who will not bend just to be liked. Machiavelli would have advised you, even warned you, that the quickest way to lose respect is to abandon your own principles the moment someone else enters the room. A man who drops his standards to keep a woman close doesn't gain affection. He kills attraction. But a man who protects his time, his energy, and his emotional space becomes unforgettable because he expresses something rare: self-respect without arrogance. A woman notices how a man reacts to small moments long before she falls for his big qualities. She watches how he carries himself when a comment crosses the line, when plans suddenly change, when tension silently enters the air. The average man either explodes or collapses. One reacts out of insecurity, the other shrinks out of fear. But the man Machiavelli would have called a prince of perception does neither. He stands steady. He corrects disrespect with calm clarity, not anger. He withdraws his time without punishment, just quiet certainty. He says no without guilt, without long explanations, without trying to soften the truth so he won't lose her. This calm firmness shifts everything. She sees a man who cannot be pushed, rushed, or manipulated. She senses a man who values himself more than he values pleasing her. And that difference, that unwavering center, instantly heightens her desire. Because a woman cannot chase a man who chases approval, but she will chase the man who respects himself so consistently that she feels compelled to rise to his level. Think of a moment where a woman jokes at your expense in a way that feels off. Most men laugh nervously, hoping not to seem sensitive. Others snap back and ruin the mood. The man who is truly irresistible pauses, stays grounded, and says, "Let's keep things respectful. It matters to me." No anger, no apology, just truth. Machiavelli would have ordered you to master this balance. Firmness without force, clarity without chaos. In that single moment, her perception flips. She sees emotional maturity. She feels safety. She recognizes strength. And more importantly, she realizes you will not trade your dignity for her approval. That is when respect becomes attraction, and attraction becomes pursuit. Boundaries are the invisible contract of your value. When you enforce them calmly, you communicate that your time is precious, your attention is earned, and your inner world cannot be accessed by just anyone. And when a woman feels that truth, not through words but through your behavior, she begins to chase the man who clearly belongs to himself. Here's the fourth step you must absolutely take advantage of if you want her to remember you forever and desire you for a long time. Live with a purpose so strong that she can feel it before she even understands it. A woman does not chase a man because of his words, his looks, or his charm. She chases the man whose life is already in motion before she arrives. The man who wakes up with direction. The man whose time is structured. The man whose goals are not theories but daily commitments. Machiavelli would have advised you, even commanded you, to build a world so intentional that anyone who enters it must adapt to your pace, not the other way around. His teachings were clear. Power belongs to the man who chooses his path, not the one who waits for approval to walk it. Purpose creates a gravity that no charm can imitate. When a woman meets you, she feels within moments whether you are a man pulled forward by his mission or drifting through life hoping someone will give him meaning. A man with no direction becomes replaceable, but a man with purpose becomes a category of one. His energy changes, his posture sharpens, his silence becomes meaningful, his choices feel deliberate, and a woman senses that she cannot bend, shape, or distract him from what he is building. Paradoxically, this is exactly what makes her chase him. Picture two men. One rearranges his entire day when a woman texts. He pauses his goals. He abandons his schedule. He treats her attention as the highlight of his week. She may enjoy it for a moment, but she never chases him, because she feels there is nothing solid in him to pursue. Now imagine the second man. He is warm but centered, present but not idle, interested but never derailed. When she texts, he replies when it fits his rhythm, not to play games, but because his life actually has rhythm. He is building something. He is mastering something. And she can sense that she is entering the orbit of someone who moves with intention. Machiavelli would have called this the advantage of the man who governs himself. Modern psychology calls it competence and forward momentum. Women simply call it attractive. Purpose is magnetic because it creates the feeling that your life cannot be interrupted, only joined. She begins paying attention to you differently. She notices the discipline in your habits, the consistency in your actions, the clarity in your decisions. And she feels something rare: admiration. Admiration becomes interest. Interest becomes desire. Desire becomes pursuit. You must understand this truth. A woman does not chase a man who needs her. She chases the man she wants to be part of, the man who inspires her, the man who makes her world feel bigger, The man whose direction is so clear that she feels pulled toward it, not because he asked, but because she feels it. Purpose creates scarcity. Purpose creates presence. Purpose creates mystery. And purpose creates the chase. Here's the fifth step Machiavelli would have ordered you to master if you want a woman to chase you long-term. Create a subtle pull so powerful that she feels you even in your absence. Attraction is never loud. It's never chaotic. It's never desperate. The men who shout the most, text the fastest, or try the hardest are never the ones she becomes obsessed with. Machiavelli himself would warn you, power is rarely displayed directly. Its strongest form is invisible. This is the heart of the subtle pull, influence that she feels without you ever raising your voice or begging for her attention. And here is the truth that destroys most men. A woman is far more affected by what you don't say than by what you do say. By the pauses, by the silences, by the moments where she watches you think before you speak, by the fact that she can't fully predict you, can't fully read you, can't fully grasp your inner world. Her mind tries to complete the pattern, but cannot. This psychological tension is what pulls her toward you. It's the Zeigarnik effect in its purest, most seductive form. The human brain chases what feels unfinished. Machiavelli would have advised you to master this art softly, never by withholding affection, never by playing childish games, but by living in a way that creates natural mystery. The man who is too eager collapses his own value. The man who is too available reveals everything at once, leaving nothing for her to discover. But the man who speaks deliberately, who pauses with intention, who gives a piece of himself but never the whole story, he becomes unforgettable. Picture the difference. One man floods her with his attention. He explains everything about himself. He reacts instantly. He overshares. He tries to win her with transparency, but he only creates predictability, and predictability kills desire. The other man moves differently. He listens more than he talks. He chooses his words. He holds eye contact for a second too long, then looks away. He doesn't reveal everything, because he's still building himself, and she feels the shift. She starts thinking about him on her way home. She replays the moment he paused before answering. She wonders what he was thinking, what he meant, what he didn't say. That is the subtle pull, a presence so controlled that even your silence has weight. When Machiavelli spoke of guiding influence rather than forcing it, this is what he meant. You do not push her to chase you. You simply become the man her mind cannot fully solve. The man whose emotional state is steady. The man who responds but never reacts. The man who creates space instead of clutter. That space is where her desire grows. Understand this. A woman does not chase noise. She chases the quiet strength that makes her lean in. The man who is calm under pressure. The man who doesn't need to fill every second with conversation. The man who owns the moment without dominating it. This kind of man is rare, and women feel that rarity instantly. His absence feels like a question. His presence feels like a mystery, and her desire becomes the answer. The subtle pull is not a tactic. It is a higher-level way of existing. It's emotional discipline, silence used with intention, and a presence that moves slowly but influences deeply. It is the art of letting her imagination do the work for you. And once she feels it, she chases, not because you tried, but because she couldn't stop herself. Here's the sixth and final step Machiavelli would have advised you to master. The step that transforms everything and makes a woman chase you effortlessly, consistently, and for as long as she knows you. This is the point where all the previous steps merge into something greater than the sum of their parts. Scarcity, presence, purpose, boundaries, the subtle pull. Every one of these forces was building toward this, the moment where you no longer need to attract her, because your very existence creates the pull for you. When Machiavelli wrote about influence, he always hinted at one truth men forget. The greatest power is the one that moves others without appearing to move at all. This final step is exactly that: invisible power, earned through discipline, not effort. A woman chases when she senses a man who cannot be replaced. And this is where most men fail. They try to be liked instead of becoming unforgettable. They try to be chosen instead of becoming the man she fears losing. But you? When you embody these principles, something extraordinary happens. She begins to adjust to your rhythm. She begins to match your pace. She begins to attune herself to your emotional world. Not because you demanded anything, but because your value, your scarcity, and your purpose trigger her instinct to move toward you. And that's what makes this step the final one. You stop chasing entirely. Not out of ego, not out of fear, but because your life has so much direction, so much structure, so much internal clarity that she feels pulled into it. She starts noticing your habits. She tracks the way you respond, the way you carry yourself, the way you vanish into your purpose and return with calm intention. She compares other men to you, and the comparison destroys them instantly. She realizes no one else moves like you. No one else thinks like you. No one else carries this combination of scarcity, discipline, and quiet confidence. This is when the chase shifts from psychological to emotional. She isn't just curious. She isn't just attracted. She feels invested, drawn, attached, and she doesn't even fully understand why. Machiavelli would have ordered you to understand this final truth. A woman does not chase the man who tries to win her. She chases the man whose life forces her to level up just to keep up. When she sees a man living deliberately, protecting his time, keeping his standards, and moving with purpose, she senses a future she doesn't want to lose. When she feels your calm strength in conflict, your subtle mystery in conversation, and your focus in your daily life, she feels a kind of emotional gravity she can't escape. This is the final step because once you reach this level, the dynamic flips permanently. You are no longer reacting to her behavior. She is reacting to your presence. You are no longer afraid of losing her. She is afraid of losing you. You no longer fill space to keep things alive. She fills the space because she wants to be part of your world, your rhythm, your energy. And that is the moment a woman chases you, not temporarily, but continuously. Not because you asked, but because you became the rarest man she's met. Not because you pulled her in, but because your very existence created the gravity she could feel from the start. This final step is not a trick. It's not manipulation. It's mastery over yourself, your purpose, your energy. When you live this way, the chase becomes natural, automatic, inevitable, because she sees a man who cannot be ignored, cannot be replaced, and cannot be forgotten. This is where the video ends, and where your transformation begins. In the end, a woman doesn't chase you because of luck, lines, or effort. She chases you because you became a man she cannot replace. Scarcity raised your value. Presence made you unforgettable. Purpose gave you direction. Boundaries protected your energy. And your subtle pull awakened a desire she couldn't control. That is the truth Machiavelli understood. When a man masters himself, others naturally move toward him. So step forward with calm strength. Build your life with intention. And protect your attention like it's gold. The moment you do, the chase begins. Not because you asked, but because you finally became the man she fears losing. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men. and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.